Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Hope you are in healthy, happy, of course. So today we would like to have our third module concerning halal logistic management. It will be like around. Wait, I think I have some problem on. Okay. Because I'm doing the live, so I can record it. Okay, let me open the PowerPoint. So hopefully everyone can see it. I cannot slideshow. Need sometimes. Okay. So in the holiday in Isra Mi'raj, we have meetings, even though it's online. Hopefully it can also embrace our knowledge and then make us know more about the logistic management, especially for halal products. And we also can have a discussion after this. So for the module 3 that we had, you can see I already opened the attendance in my class. You can click it in there. In module 3, you will have a discussions after the PDF of this PowerPoint. You will find one good journal. It is in the Scopus Index, and it is a very for me it's interesting because you can understand how the halal logistic management is happening, what is the challenge problem appear on it. Even though today in this session we will talk more about it, but I'm not making any summary on this presentations concerning the paper. Those paper is sharing about how the halal logistic management is appear as a theory, but how it's implemented. Okay, there's a phone call, but it's okay. So that's a quite attractive reading. You can read it. It's not that much pages, but it's really refresh and also adding your knowledge concerning how the halal logistic management is appear right now, and how to do the controlling, and how it can bridge between the module 3 and module 4. Yeah, tomorrow we will meet Mr. Fitra, Mas Fitra. He will deliver concerning the quality assurance, halal quality assurance, and how the halal logistic management can appear to be the halal quality assurance, how the controlling is really weak, yeah, compare with the others. So today we will talk more about the logistic management, or in management or in economics, you can understand, or you can know it as the supply chain management of a product of some industry or manufacturing. So I'm starting for Anal, Surah Anal 114. So eat from the good, lawful things which Allah has provided for you, and be grateful for Allah's favors if you truly worship Him alone. So this one is, this surah is always remind us that we have to eat from the good one. And you can see there's a lot of proof in the health, concerning the sanitation, nutrition, that what things that Allah asks us to eat, the good things that Allah asks us to eat, are totally healthy. For example, if you eat too much bark, it also impact to your skin and also impact to your body in some of the parasite that can be appear in our body. But if we are balancing it and we are not eating it, and then we balancing our life with eating not too much eating, and then we do the salah as salat is or the praying as the continuing exercise, and then we will find our body will be healthier. And if you're not, as you can see, why alcohol is also damaging our body, is there is a directly impacted, right? When you drink alcohol, when your body is not accepted, when you drink alcohol, and then you finally got drunk, dizzy, and then unconsciousness, and then you don't know what things that you do, and then embarrassing you in front of the publics. So it's also impact of the alcohol, which is Allah is already asking us to prohibit it, to drink it. But some cases, if it is for example, if it is coming for healthy recovery as a medicine, probably it can be excused, but a very limited and some borders of the numbers, size, or measured that can be consumed in our body. So halal logistic management. Actually, before I'm starting from halal itself, I would like to share that what is the meaning of the logistic management or supply chain management. In the perspective of economics or management knowledge, the supply chain management is the integration of business process from the upstream to downstream, and usually from the suppliers, and then they provide the products, and then the processing, manufacturing, and all the services and technology inside of it, informations that you are sharing as a marketing. That is the supply chains management. And usually supply chains management, it's connecting to company supply side, not the demand side, but it's supply side when everyone is asking for some product of itself. So the supply chain management, usually we are talking about the interactions or relationship between the suppliers from the upstreams to downstreams, from the raw material until the finishing material. So that is the supply chain management. And it's not the small knowledge or not small sciences that we are reading it or learn about it. Supply chain management is really huge, especially when you are talking about the product which has processing inside, not as a raw materials. For example, if it is the product is not the agricultures, so it has to be the for example, you eat a chocolate, it means that there's must be another processing from a chocolate tree and chocolate or cocoa seeds, and it have to be managed. So the supply chain management is a huge knowledge and science, and we need to read it we need to learn about it like a year to know it and to understand how to make the effective supply chain management. But there was a phone call for you. Okay. Sorry, I have to inform to my husband because the phone was rang. Okay, this is one of the map of the supply chain. This is the end to end of supply chain. Wait for a minute. Let me do. Okay, I need to mute. Sorry, Faisa, to unmute your. I think you forgot to mute it. So, the end to end of supply chains, we see from the upstream to downstream, or in this case, in this supply chains, we call it as primary manufacturers to the end of the customers. When, for example, when we are talking about chocolate, and then the chocolate it came from the farmers, cocoa farmers. They took the cocoa seed, and then they're processing it, and then they making it as a chocolate. So started from the primary manufacturers. The initial supplier was the farmers, and then the farmers, they're trying to what is that? Would you mind to help me to take the teh kotak in the table? Thank you. For example, easier is teh kotak is it's near to to my to the table. For example, this one. I'm not marketing this brand. Okay, just I can put it. So this drink, as the initial supplier, was a lot of initial supplier from the tea farming, and then from the sugarcane farming, and also they are processing it. They send it to the Ultra Jaya. Yeah, Ultra Jaya makes some commitment with the tea farmers and then sugarcane farmers, and then they are giving the supply of the input for the third and second supplier. For example, the third supplier is the Ultra Jaya. The second supplier, they also have connections with the Ultra Jaya is not working by themselves, because Ultra Jaya also have the what is that? The package of the teh kota itself. They're not making by themselves. They also have connections with the industrial manufacturers, which is actually they make this one. Then they fill the tea inside of this package. So this kind of the supply chains, they are making the interactions between all of the suppliers, and then send it to the some organizations or the Ultra Jaya as the final product. But it's not the end of the supply chains. The supply chains, after they already make the package, they are sending it directly to the shop, probably not distributor, the wholesaler. Wholesaler, the huge one, they are sending to the small one, and then directly you can find it in Indomaret, in Alfamart, or Easy. You can also using the Transmart, and then etc. You directly go to the final customers. So this is end-to-end supply chains. And usually after the Ultra Jaya, they have the organizations. We call it organization, the Ultra Jaya. And the Ultra Jaya not only producing one tea, right? Not only producing teh kota, but Ultra Jaya also have milk. They also have a lot of a snack product. And these organizations was collaborate with a lot of suppliers. Not only teh kota, and then supplier for teh kota is only from one sugar cane, and then this sugarcane industry is not also working with another product in Ultra Jaya. No, it's not. But this supplier also collaborate with others to produce all of the products of Ultra Jaya. So this is end-to-end the supply chains. And from upstream to downstream. Upstream activities was the processing of the product, and downstream activities is the selling activities. So this is the mapping of the supply chains. So in this case, you need to understand what is the supply chain, what is the process, and etc. So I'm starting from this side. This is the supply chains management, yeah. And then we are trying to find, I'm trying to introduce the integrated of supply chains. As a stage one, this is the first stage, or the basic stage. The first one is the purchasing, and then manufacturing, distribution, and then marketing. As you can see that if you do not know this product from from any of the social media or any advertisement in the televisions or radio or others, I think you will not knowing that Dakota have the Ultra Jaya have some product, right? So there's marketing inside of the supply chains, integrated of the supply chains, and also the distributor, manufacturing, purchasing. As you can see, purchasing is for the input or the input materials like the tea and tea leaves and also the sugar cane. Manufacturing, distribution, and marketing, they are working together to reach the customers. So the baseline organizations characterized by functionals, functional based on this, who is the purchasers, who is the manufacturing. Usually manufacturing have a huge number of the human resources or laborers. And then who is the distribution. And usually we have adversarial relationship between this one. They have papers, collaborations like MOU to have this integrated of supply chains. And they are doing the independent planning by their own functions. Ma'am, is there any since you are saying it's integrated, for example, so is there any interference between purchasing to manufacturing? No, they don't. In the manufacturers, they are really working alone. Manufacturing, they working alone, even they have their own office. Purchasing, they have their own office and they have the garage to warehouse to keep all of the inputs, and then they put it into the manufacturings, and then they sell the manufacturing is finished, and then they keep it into their warehouse. They call it the office call it as distribution, but the marketing also have their own sales office, their own office, sometimes the different floors only. So this kind of things, they are independent on their own functions. So, that is why in labors, if you're talking about trying to find the labors working, where do you want to work, you can find which department is suitable for you. Yeah. So the baseline performance is trying to lead in this case, in this general integrated supply chains. I would like to share that this is the very high total cost. For example, for the industry, just very small industry, you do not need to put like this one, just like integrated together. But if you are in the high or big or huge or great industry, you can wait. Okay, you can put differently department or office. Yeah. Oh wait, I need to make the committee becoming a co-host. Help me if someone is forgot to mute their microphone. Yeah, I think Mas Kamil or committee from the IT. Thank you. Okay, this one is the baseline, and but this baseline is a very standard one, as usual. You can read it more on several of the paper concerning the supply chains management. So before that, I would like to share the goal or the aim of supply chain management is trying to manage the upstream and downstream relationship with the suppliers to consumers. So supply chains management is trying to ensure that from the input to the output and taken by the bought by the customers. This is the goal of the supply chain management, and trying to create the enhanced value in the final marketplace at least cost to the supply chain as a whole. So if you're working in a big factories, for example, this Ultra Jaya, I believe that the commissariat or directors, they will asking you how to make it more effective. decreasing the price, how to make it the price is not increasing as crazy as the inflation rate of Indonesia, for example. I do not want to put the increasing prices to be the barrier to the downstreams, so the customers becoming decreased, or the marketing value becoming decreased. So this is the goal of the supply chain management. Usually they are trying to manage the upstream downstream relationship between one supplier to other suppliers, and also trying to stabilize the organizations. The middle one, if you still remember the previous one, the organizations to be stable, which is actually have to be the bridge between the factory, the processing factories to the marketing process. So this one is the goal of the supply chain management. Now we are talking about the halal then. Well, you understand about supply chain management or logistic management. What is the difference actually, ma'am, between the logistic management and supply chain management? Logistic management is like the what is that, the huge point of view of this supply chain management. It's just like, okay, from upstream to downstreams, that is the logistic, what is we need in there. We are not only need, like in Tekota is like sugar, tea, package, water, not only that, how to make it, but also technology, because it's not behind the factory, is not a mother who make the tea and using the spoon and pour into the package. No, but it was a huge number of machine, and those machine was what is that, connected to the technology, and this technology is working. So the supply chain management is also include the technology. So when we are talking about halal logistic and halal supply chain management, we also talk about the technology. If the technology is created as halal, for example, Sharia, or the things that it is not, for example, the technology that we use is not under the company of a peer, it's okay, yeah. But during the halal logistic or halal supply chain management, to ensure from the upstream to the downstream is totally halal, which is actually based on the Quran and also Surah, also Hadith. So this is what we are saying, the halal logistic or halal supply chain management. So I believe you will ask, what is the criteria of halal then for the logistic management? Halal for the substance. So halal, what it can be consumed. For example, I know some of you love to eat sushi or Japanese food, but remember, when there's mirin, I don't know what's the English of mirin. I think mirin, yeah, the same like that. It's not halal because it consists of alcohol, and it's not good for us. And it means that those are not cannot be consumed. So it's not halal for the substance. So you have to be carefully. Or gelatin. Usually when you are making some bread, we or where's that, bakery, usually they use gelatin very much. And gelatin, we have to understand that have to be halal. Yes, we do already have halal, came from the algae, came from other part, which is not have to be from pork, not from pork, the skin of the pork. So have to be halal for the substance. So that is why, as you can see in Indonesia, a lot of people think that halal certifications is costly, and it's really difficult to have the halal certificate from MUI, yeah, from Indonesians Majelis Ulama Indonesia. It's quite difficult, and A lot of people will think that MOE is really difficult and etc. But since the halal for the substance is the main idea that it cannot be coming inside of our body, and Al-Quran Hadith is already mentioning, right? No pork, anything from pork or pig, from dogs, anything from dogs, any kind of animal we just have what is that? I always call it as vampire teeth. Yeah, and then you're not allowed to eat or drink blood, any kind of it. What is it? Alcohol, no alcohol, because alcohol is not easy to choose. Just I saw several people say beer, yeah. But in Indonesia, in Jogja, we have beer, which is halal. We call it beer peletok. It's from herbs, and they put the soda inside. So if it is so, it's okay. It's not the alcohol. So some of them also a lot of things said we are not allowed to eat in Al Quran already mentions. I know all of you, I think, already know it. And the second one is halal on the way you get it. So halal for how it obtained in a good and legal way without any harming people, prohibited by Sharia law. And for example, not only food, not only food, but also some product like cell phone. Cell phone, it should be, we need to understand whether it is halal or not. For example, I'm also part of the auditor of RMI, Resource Mineral Initiative. It's under Samsung, it's under what is that? Apple, is under all the electronics who use tin, tin, gold, tantalum, anything that is mostly in minerals. Charcoal also. We also audit how they obtain the tin ore, the ore of the tin, the ore of the gold. We ensure that they are not applying, or they are not having a labor, they are not what is that? They are in the good track for not having children laborers. So we ensure on it, and we trying to ensure that the tin ore is based on the deals between the government and the society. In Indonesia, tin ore, for example, in Pangkal Pinang, I don't know whether some of you are in Pangkal Pinang, in the Pangkal Pinang Regency. The Pangkal Pinang Regency, they have a huge, Wendy, you came from Pangkal Pinang. Pangkal Pinang, you know that tin ore in there is really rich. Even if you're going outside in your house, you will see that the tin ore is shining in front of the land of your land and soil. And usually, not usually, but Pangkal Pinang are the rich regency or city because they have a lot of tin ore. And we are trying to ensure, the auditor trying to ensure that tin ore that they are processing in manufacturing is based on the MOU, under the legal law, under the government law. If they are using like digging a lot of the soil or tin ore from many kind of area which is not what is that, managed by the government or community, so like stealing. So we will close those what is that, smelters, we call it smelters. So I'm part of this auditor under the research mineral initiatives. Why I'm joining it? Because this one is also include the halal logistic. So it's not only for food, but the way you also use. This is what we have to understand and we have to apply in your life. All things that we use for our daily life have to be halal on the way you get it. So halal, ensure that this one is under all of the law, restricted law, and it's also it's in line with the Sharia law. Yeah, that's also need to be underlined, because sometimes people think halal is only for things that consume, but halal product is also all things that in your life, in daily life, that you use. Laptop, cell phone, televisions, electricity, anything. If it is already in the way of government and in the way of Sharia law, see, you can use it. Yeah, that's also halal on the way you get it. The third one, halal on the way it processed. It has to be based on the Sharia law. It's totally difficult if we are really strict on this halal, the way of the process. As you can see, some of the big manufacturers, they got crushed on the having the halal certifications due to the technology. Some of my friends who is the famous auditor for MUI for halal certifications of food, yeah, especially for food, he said that might be they are okay for the upstream to downstream concerning for the substance based on the consuming, but they are failed on the way on processed. And I was surprised that why they are failed on the process, because they are for example, they do the technology not as the Sharia law. So the technology that they appear, it seems that for example, they paid higher than it has to be. For example, the MOU is $2,000 for 1 month renting, but they are paying 2,200. So including those also, they are making the checking those one, because they try to ensure the halal on the way it processed, the technology when they rent the machines, when they rent the technology, how to do it, and what is that, mixing it, how to mixing it. So they are failed on those, and usually it's a small things, but they forgot that it also the criteria of halal. So halal logistic is driven by the halal industry to extend the halal from sources to the point when consumer want to purchase of the product itself. That is the ensuring the integrity for all of the halal product to the end consumer. Yeah. So when you're, I know that when you want to buy some of product, you will ensure, is there any halal brand there? Thanks God that this Tehkota has the halal in here. So is there any halal logo? And please trust the government. Yeah. Ulil Amri, we just actually already make this what is that, logistic management and quality assurance of halal product is already strengthened or enforced. So this one, halal logistic, is trying to driven from the upper stream of the source until the hand of the consumer. Including there's some I still remember one of my colleague from bakery. The owner was not Muslim, and at that actually it's a small, not small, micro enterprises. Yeah, it's really small. It was only in her house. He tried to sell in front of her house, in the terrace, and then it's a homemade bakery. But when she's trying to propose the halal certificate, she was failed because on the way it processing, they are the source, like they have for bakery, they have milk, they have cheese, right? They have to put it into the refrigerator. They put it in the refrigerator with their own food. I mean, the domestics are not domestics. The was that the family's refrigerator, like they're not separated. Why? Why it's not? Is it wrong, ma'am? Actually, if you are Muslim, probably it will not wrong. But since she was not Muslim, and the auditor is asking, do you usually eat a pork in your house? And she said, yeah, sometimes. Do you usually directly eat finished or you keep it in the fridge? I said, yeah, sometimes. So means that the cheese, the milk, and everything, like the parsley, peterselie, are in the same refrigerator with the pork dishes. And directly she failed. It's she's not allowed to do that. She have to buy the new refrigerator and ensure that all of these sources, materials of the bakery is separated with the house consuming food or products. That's also becoming our awareness that halal for the substance, not only when you are eating, but also the way they are keeping it from the supplier. So the key discipline in halal logistic is first warehousing. Yeah, like the previous example. The second one is transportations. It's also becoming failed. I heard one of my friends say to me the Starbucks in New York at that moment was failed having the halal. As you can see, Starbucks is the huge company and they would like to grab a lot of certificate. Yeah, so they failed. The warehouse is totally different. With they're trying to ensure that the water is not also near to the pig farm, pork, and also dogs and everything. It's already clear, but the way they transport, they are the same in the same what is that? Sometimes they have the same truck of distributions, when they in the supplier of something are the same like a supplier of pork. So that's also getting failed. Transportation is also becoming the key disciplines for halal logistics. And the third is terminal operations, the organizations, the factory itself. Okay. The concept of halal logistics. This is the principle of halal logistics. We are trying to have the intention to create a global halal logistics system and trying to minimize the hardship for the halal industry. As you can see, since not all of the people is accepting the halal industry, so we're trying to make the hardship to make in global markets for the halal industry. We define cross contaminations between halal and haram and trying to avoid it. So we already have some strictly saying that we are not allowed to have pork, dog's meat, any kind of what is that? Animal who has the vampire teeth, and then alcohol is totally strict. So, and etc. So when we already have these principles, and when there's some contaminations directly, we already said that this cannot be have the certificate of halal or trying to avoid on it, and create the evaluation on the complete halal value chain. Benchmarking with the existing halal standards that we had is really good. We also have that Indonesia also have okay, acceptable because mostly Muslim. Malaysia also okay, since most of them are Muslim, and then Arab and etc. So existing the halal standard based on them. and best practices and international standard, which is actually we do not have this one. Yeah. And there are two different level of in the halal logistic. One for addressing direct contact with haram, risk of contaminations, and also the perception of Muslim consumer. That is why we have this logo, and directly the Majlis Ulama or all of the Islam organizations have to announce what kind of logo of halal need to be aware by all the consumers, Muslim consumers. And one for addressing only direct contact with haram and risk contaminations. Then after this, I would like to share several of the papers, interesting paper concerning the logistic performance of halal. From Santosa, I saw that he's trying to see the halal certifications. As you can see in Indonesia, halal certifications is becoming a huge problem for the industry. Small, medium, micro, small, medium, and huge, probably large scale is okay for them, but the micro, small, and also medium, they have some problem on it because the halal certifications usually impact the logistic and financial successness of the SMEs while producing some of the product. In this case of Santosa, he's focusing on the meat and co-hide, which is localized in Surakarta. And he used at that moment is path analysis. And he said that the how the halal certifications can increase the logistic and financial success. When the product is already certified, the halal logo, they already put the halal logo. Directly in here, we can see that the halal certificate have relationship on the logistic product, yeah. Logistic producing or logistic performance, and the p-value is really strong because it's under 0.01 and 1%, and the you can see that this hypothesis that halal certificate is very important to the logistic performance. And the second one, since halal certification is costly, he wants to know the financial success. Is it bring the financial success? Is it have giving the trickle down effect, good to the SMEs to their markets? And it seems that it has, even though it's 5% level of significance, but yes, indeed, that it's also impacted with the positive values. And it means that on the way it is on halal certificate is influenced to logistic performance, and halal certificate is also supporting the financial performance. But the logistic performance is not supporting directly to the financial performance. And as we can see in here, it's not supported. It means that people not thinking about, for example, I bought this tea called teh kota, this tea. And I said, where did you get the tea came from? Is it came from the Malang or came from Java? Or if it's come from Malang, I don't like it because I love from Jogja. I love tea from Jogja. No, they're not thinking about the logistic performance from the input, from the sources. They're just thinking about the way that is there any halal logo or halal certificate? If it is, so yes, directly the consumer will buy it. The financial performance becoming increased when they found there is a logo halal in there. So the logistic performance directly is not directly affected to the financial performance, but yes, halal certificate will be increasing the logistic performance. In this case, for meat and co-hide. Yeah, and here the SME is trying to encounter several of the challenges concerning halal certificate because the high expenses in apply of certifications and the complex of administrative management. Well, if you already have the experience concerning for the applying halal certificate, I believe you are agree with me since I've done it before twice for my friends bakery, and previously I was working before I becoming a lecturer. I was working in the bakery, and when I was already graduated of um, my what is that, bachelor degree. After graduated, I work in the bakery, so I know how is the challenge, how difficult to have the halal certifications. Then the second one, I read Ardian Toro in 2021, he's trying to see and trying to inform the literature analysis of halal supply chain management. In Ardian Toro, he has a definition of halal supply chain management, which is process-oriented approach to managing material flow, informations, and also money through the strategic coordinations, cooperations, and stakeholders collaborations to produce a value that enhance the supply chain performance by bringing halal and toyib in all processes from production to consumption. So Ardiantoro put toyib not only halal, but also have to bring benefit for our health, our body, halal and toyib. But the problem that he mentions in in all of the literature analysis that he has is material handling, monitoring, and processing. Monitoring is also, I read Ardiantoro paper. Monitoring is really challenge for each of the paper that he read. How to ensure that the source and each of the parties are in the same, in the same connections of halal industry or halal products. The one things that monitoring says for halal certifications, if you are having the source or the upstreams parties, then you have to choose the not the party, but your colleague or your party. It's like the input suppliers have to already had the halal certificate, and this kind of things really challenging for all of the MSME, micro, small, and medium. As you can see, micro. If you are asking where did you buy the flour for making the bakery, and we just can answer, we buy it in the markets. All those market is not having halal certificate yet. You are not allowed to buy there. But as the micro, we are trying to find the lowest price, so you can sell the product not that high or expensive cost. So when you're trying the lowest one, then you found you can buy it in the market, but the market do not have or receive the certificate of halal. So how it will be? So this one is also the problem for the micro. The second one is seeing the halal food traceability, supply chain informations. Yeah, for example, like those one. Okay, if you're making the bakery and then you buy the meat, yeah, sometimes we have the like teriyaki flavor of the bakery and etc. or sausage. We are trying to do the traceability, just like where do you buy it in the market? Okay, in the market, which of the seller did you buy? And then he pointed in that one. Okay, that one do not have any halal certificates. It will be problem again. So that's or sometimes the as you can see, when you are having a helper, the helper is the one who buy the meat and etc. chicken, and then the buyer said, okay, on the date of 1st July, where did you buy the meat? And then he just like, the helper was like, sometimes I buy in that person, or sometimes I buy that person's. Depends which seller has the lower one, or the lowest one. So it's becoming untraceable of the food product. Yeah. So it's becoming a problem for micro. And the food cooking tools. You still remember the previous example that my friend, which is non-Muslim, even the auditor asking, did you cook? Have you ever cooked pork in your kitchen? And they said yes. Directly they failed, because the cooking tools have to be different. Says, yeah. A direct contact of the halal products and haram products. It's also, I still remember that Jasmine Cakery at that moment have a problem during the audit, halal audit. The auditor say to me, did you notice that behind of the factory is the farm of pig? And I was surprised. Really? Yes, he said. And we are walking there, just like 600 meters. And I said, it's quite far away, 600 meters from the factories. Is that any problem with that? And he said, yes, because the water flow you are using, not from palm, from government. It came from the underwater, It means that those farming might be affected into your water sanitations. And I was saying, but when we are cooking, at that moment I was undergraduate, finished my bachelor degree. I was not reading about the halal product or supply chains, and I was at that moment. Since then, I interesting on the halal tourism. One of them are the food factories, yeah. And I'm saying that, oh, but I'm not using this for cook. We use the aqua, or we use the other what is that, water supply, which is not from our tank. And they said, still, because you are washing your cooking utensils using those cooking tools. So afterwards, we changed. We used the palm. Yeah. So including those one. The direct contact of the halal food and also haram food. Storage problem and also delivering process. You can see that those are a main problem of MS, micro, small, and medium enterprises. So how is the strategies that Ardiantoro propose? We have to assess the supplier integrity. So that's one that I remind you, all of the supplier have to be certificate by the halal, and put the audit methods, internal audit methods frequently. Yeah. Even though micro, ma'am, yes, even it is micro. The other things, best practices of halal integrity management by Rizky, it's the newest one, the updated one. He's trying to see the opportunities and challenge of the development Indonesian halal logistic. The opportunities why halal logistic is very interesting to be developed or updated, because we are in the Muslim population growth, and near our countries also Muslim, which is Malaysia and Singapore also, some of them are Muslim. And global halal demand is mostly increasing and also strengthening the Islamic economy and finance sectors. They're trying to have the blockchains of technology supporting the Internet of Things. In this case, now, if you still remember the halal finance, halal transportations, like 2 days ago, I'm sharing about it, the concept of halal. the halal technologies also now we are trying to develop to have the blockchain technology supported for the halal industries. But what is the challenge? The challenge until now we do not have any special regulations concerning for that. Every country have their own perspective. Even in Indonesia, we have two largest Muslim party. The first one is Nahdlatul Ulama. The other one actually not party, but community social community, which is known as Muhammadiyah, right? So both of them, some of the regulations are not matched. So this is what we say, that we do not have a special regulation togetherness like global special regulations concerning the halal logistic. So that's the challenge. The second one, we still have the lack of the knowledge for the stakeholders and the company. They know about halal means that no pork, no lard, no alcohol, but not only that way. We still have some of the regulations that is, like child abuse is haram for us. So when you're working, when you have a workers, children under 18 years old, it means it's not halal also, it's haram. So lack of the knowledge concerning for that is also appear. For example, the hotels. I saw when I saw some of the friend's video, he's staying at that moment in the Mexico's hotel, and he said that, this is Sharia hotel. He said, oh, really? They put Sharia there as the Muslim organizations in Mexico state that those hotels is Sharia, even though it's small hotels. And I was saying, wow, incredible. In Mexico, they have also the knowledge of Sharia, I mean, Muslim. And I see all of them are using hijab for the female, and male, they also use a proper clothes or dress. But the things that make me was surprised at that moment was I saw a children, I think it's like 11 or 12 years old, becoming what is that, waitress, supporting, helping them. And when I asked, who is this guy? I said, he's still quite young to be a worker. Oh, this guy is the children of the owner. He wants to have this kind of experience of working. And I said, okay, it means that it's breaking the rules of child laboring. The second one, he bring what is it? Food from outside because of the what is that, guest who's staying there asking for food outside. And I said, is that food outside is halal, or ensuring that those are halal or not? And my friend said, oh yeah, it's so, I mean, it's surprisingly, even though it's not, if you still remember yesterday, Mr. Andre, 2 days ago, Mr. Andres saying that his hotel's trying to force that it have to be halal, all things, right? The supply chains from those hotels have to be halal, but no food allowed from outside to go inside, even because okay, if they are if the guests bring it by themselves and we do not know, is okay, but this is the waitress who buy it and put it into their plate and then serve to the guest. So it has to be saying it breaking the rules of the halal logistic. So the lack of the knowledge of the company, it's also becoming a problem also. Lack of expert and researchers. Until now, we have a very small number of researchers and experts. That is why if you are interested of the halal tourism, halal logistics supply chains, you will be a somebody. I mean, we are really need someone like researcher to have this one, to do the research concerning for that. And there has yet to be a unique infrastructures. So it's only like that things. Yeah. So the concept of the halal integrations based on the previous Risky, he's trying to say that the integrations, the planning have to include the traceability, have to be include the monitoring or audit, yeah, asset specific. Okay, wait. Okay, thank you. Wait. Management planning will be asset specific and quality assurance, and also the trust. The trust, this becoming the planning management. When doing the controlling, they are trying to control the raw materials, production process, and finished product. The halal logistic management in here have to be traceable, have to be asset specified, and have to be have the quality assurance and based on the component of the trust. For example, if you are in the hotels, and then, for example, in Grand Rohan, and then you found the problem that you met a guest who's staying there, which is not married or couple, halal couple, and staying there, meeting each other inside of the room without any permit from the hotel staff members. Then we're trying to trace who are the staff member agreed these things, who knows about this case, but the staff member still not trying to prohibit or not trying to stop them. This case, usually they will trace back to the who is the one whose staff member is in the receptionist, who is the staff members as the what is that, not doorbells, I forgot the name, who help you to bring your luggage into your room, who are the persons who is the supervisors in charge during those days. It have to be traceable. Yeah, the same like food. If you see that a lot of news or media, they're saying this, they said that one of the fruit can is like apricot or etc. have to be what is that? A government have to delay the product, have to put out from the market because they see that there's something what is it, accidentally on the processing, that they put the oil accidentally, they put the pork oil or something which is already mixing into the can. So they will just like directly trace which productivity, which produce which product and what number of the productions and etc. Then they can trace, okay, the number product with the in front of the numbers, production number as M, have to be deleted. They have to put it out from the markets, for example. So it have the integrity management have to be traceable, access, quality assurance, and based on the trust. So halal standard is very essential in the part of halal logistic. And currently Indonesia do not have any specific standard on halal logistic or global halal standard until now. It's the new, actually Risky is the new paper that I had, that I read from the Taylor and Francis. And it's really interesting that he said that the specific standard for halal logistic and supply chains, for the guideline for this one is we do not still have it for Sharia compliance logistic operations, and we need to make it. And this is like, I know that this paper just like shouting out loud, hello, Muslim countries, we need to make the standard. Even though I know that the Muslim countries already do making the standard, but a lot of arguments on the different perspectives concerning the Al-Quran and also Hadith, which is actually it's becoming like a long-term of a discussion. Until now, we still have this problem that we do not have the global halal standards for logistic managements. So that is why we call it as if there's some gray areas or some gaps, the logistic chains, it have to be, stop or not stop, but need to be aware the halal certificate will not appear on their product. Yeah. So this is interesting paper, risky, concerning the logistic. Probably I will upload it into the my class so you can download it. So the challenge and opportunities that we had right now, the halal logistic, this is like the summaries of all of this. Halal logistic already defined as the process of managing procurement, movement, storage, processing or handling the materials, becoming semi-finished or finished the product, food or non-food, related to the informations and documentations flows. So the supply chains have to be compliant with the principle of Sharia, including the yesterday, 2 days ago, I forgot to ask to Mr. Andre how is he I think he can explain how is the wage or the salary of the staff member in the Grand Rohan. Even the wage structure is based on the principle of Sharia. Yeah, if you have his number, you can ask him how the principle can be applied. Is already applied in Grand Rohan hotels during the COVID-19. Even in COVID-19, all the staff members working in the Grand Rohan Jogja, they're not getting fired. Anyone, they're still working, but they minimize like 50% working and 50% are not, but they still receive the money. I mean the permanent income, oh not permanent, but the usual income. Just like during the pandemic, UMY, all of the staff members, all of the lecturers are also receiving the same money like we had before pandemic COVID. As you can see, a lot of the companies, since it's have a problem, then the principle of Sharia is already like becoming like okay, this is the test from God, from Allah, that okay, are you still doing doing the Sharia law or not, regulation or not? But Alhamdulillah, UMY, we still have it. We still have the Sharia law, which is actually even our salary is not decreased. Even our salary, just as usual, they will cut directly for zakat and directly. So for the lecturers, including the Grand Rohan, for the staff members directly, they can consume their money, their income, their wage directly, because it's already decreased with the zakat mal. Yeah. So the principle of Sharia is also becoming a problem as a whole logistic management in halal logistic management. The halal integrity is also a challenge because this halal integrity is becoming as a whole things covering up for the product process from the upstream to downstream for the consumers. And also inside of it, we need to add the halal certifications. And we have to say to the stakeholders and also all of the business that halal certifications is important. Yeah, so that's the challenge that we need to share. And the movement of halal products around the world increases. Right now is already increases. And the awareness of halal in general, and in turn added value surrounding halal and the holistic interdependence of the entire halal value chain. This is becoming opportunities for us. Even non-Muslim, now they are trying to shift into the product of halal, especially for the chickens. My friends from Edinburgh, when I asked him, um, I know that you are not Muslim, but why you buy the chicken from Muslim sellers? He said that it's ensure that the blood is already gone, and then the blood of the chicken is already gone, and there's no any of parasite there. And then he said that halal slaughtered livestock usually is clean, and also the meat itself is more delicious and chewy, they said. So it means that, and they said that it's longer, what is that, the product is having the longer using compared with the non-Muslim slaughtering, they said, because sometimes they're not ensure that all the chicken, all the blood of the chicken is going out from the body, so they are easy to be smelly. So this one is also the opportunities that awareness of people trying already shifting into the halal awareness to buy the the product of halal. The other one, since the halal logistics is very important, we need to know that the standards farm to fork have to be enforced and need to be standardized. Yeah. The factors affecting the integrity of halal logistic, usually the certifications, the halal certifications, halal standard, because the standard on each of the each of the country has the different, and not that much differences, but some of the small points we have some differences that need to be standardized. Traceability, this becoming not only on the product for halal, actually, not only for this kind of things, but all things for the product. Traceability is becoming a problem, not only for the food, but also like electronics, also the smelters and etc. Halal dedicated assets also is becoming important. Ensure that you're using the Islamic bank finance if you want to rent some money, etc. is also dedicated asset, have to be halal, also Sharia principles, using the Sharia principles. Trust among supply chain members. How to make it trusted? To make it trusted means that you have to give the proof that you already halal certified. So trust, feeling trust have to be built in between the supply chain members. And then commitment for all of the supply chain members. As you can see in the MUE, or the halal standard, they will do the audit frequently, every year, every 2 years, every year for food, every how many years for some of other product. So the commitment of the supply chains have to be there. They all have to be committed into producing as a Sharia principles. The last one, the role of the government. The role of government, this is why it's important if halal logistic management in Indonesia is, if we do have, since the population mostly is Muslim, we are expecting our leader are Muslim also and have a knowledge concerning the Sharia principles. But for the minority group, Muslim as minority group in some countries, it have to be the role of the a person who responsible concerning the certificate of the halal logistic. He has big role to enforce the halal logistic management as in the Sharia principles. So the role of the government, the role of the stakeholders is becoming very important and affect to integrity of the halal logistic. Okay, I think that's the last of my presentations today. I've already include into the LMS, and then let me stop sharing here. I will give you time for, if you want to have some questions, you can directly open your microphone. And meanwhile, let me try to, or you can ask through chat. Meanwhile, let me share you about this module 3 in the LMS. Okay, here we have a halal logistic management module 3. Then you have, this is the PPT that I had today, and this one is the paper of principle in halal supply chain management by yourself. And then this one is the like the homework that you need to work before 20 July, before tomorrow. This one is discussions. Ensure that you already click or you already read the principles in halal supply chain management, and then afterwards you can click the discussions. When you do the click discussions, they will be appear like this one. Then you see here the discussion theme, halal logistic controlling. Just click on it, and then you can read the questions. When you already read the questions, do not just directly, you just click reply, and then you can have, you can do the reply of my questions. This is the LMS of my class. And ma'am, is there any point of this? Yes, if you do reply, I will give you the point based on your reply, based on the content of your reply. If your reply only say, yeah, okay, thank you, ma'am, I will not give you any point on it. But if you're replying or answering my questions, then I will give you some points on it. So hope you can understand. Yeah. This one, just directly click and then click the reply. Yeah, do not need to click anything, just click the reply. Then do not forget to click the attendance of today. I already setting up until 2 p.m. Yeah, on today. So, okay, if you have any questions, you can raise hands. Okay, I see Sultan and Nopi. Please, Sultan.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for the explanation, Miss. That's really interesting topic for me. And I do have several questions. The first one would be, so for the manufacturing company, when they are trying to manufacture the product, there must be a raw materials in it. So how, what if the raw materials they get from import product, and how to ensure that import product is halal, because we don't know how they process it, they don't know the warehousing and else. And the second question would be how to apply or implementing the halal logistic term in another country which Muslim is not the majority, because as far as I can see, halal logistic would be reap a huge benefit in country which has the Muslim as the major religion? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sultan. Very interesting questions. How is it if they do import as the supply goods, yeah, becoming, if the supply goods came from the minority of Muslim, for example, Thailand, as you can see, the soybean in there, we are importing the soybean from Thailand, including the rice. Rice we also import from Thailand. How it will be? Is it how to put the halal certificate in there? Well, in the other countries like Thailand, they have also some Muslim stakeholder who also adjust. In Thailand, we call it chichot. Yeah, I forget the long term of the chichot. This chichot is trying to do the halal certificate, also do the halal certificate. If your company want to process some of the some input material from those countries, ensure that they already have the halal certificate, because every countries they have their own like MUI in Indonesia. So ensure that they have this certificate, and then you can do the MOU, and then you can, okay, I can bring your I can use your goods as you can be my supplier. Yeah, so ensure for that, so it can be traceable, so it can be you also can trust. Yeah, the principle of halal logistic is also trust, because they have the halal certificate on their own country. Yeah. Oh, then I forgot the second one. What is the question, Sultan?
Okay, so the second question is how to apply or implementing the halal logistic term in the country which Muslim is not the majority, because the market of this halal logistic for me, currently I saw it like it will be reap a huge benefit in the country which has the Muslim as the majority.
Yeah. So how is for the, like in Spain, in Barcelona, how we can survive then? If we survive in maybe to the school, the postgraduate in Malaysia, in Arab, in Turkey, it's okay. But how about if in Barcelona? If you still remember, they have the logo of halal. You have to be trust when they put halal logo there. It means that they are already run of the audit for long process. For example, like the water, sanitation waters, they already ensure that it is in the halal, or there's no haram products affecting it. So ensure that when you are in the countries, minority Muslim countries, ensure that you are using, you are seeing any logo of halal. I know it will be very costly. The price will be very expensive, not very, but more expensive, because I still remember when I living in Thailand for 4 years, all of even the chicken, halal chicken is more expensive, 20 baht. 20 baht is around 2,000 rupiah, like more expensive in 2,000 rupiah in half kilograms. But we need to buy it. I mean, we need to have it, right? And that's actually, so then the most important things that you have to trust the logo of halal. But how they can do for the company, how they can do, because there are less of Muslim seller, or how to do the trade for the company. I believe that there is a Muslim surrounding it. I still remember even in Barcelona, one of our lecturers in there, Mrs. Faiza, I asked her how to ensure that this product is having halal certificate, and he said, "Ma'am, in here we have some of the global chicken, like what is that, raw chickens, which is actually is already have halal certificate as the global standards. I forgot the name. CP. They have a halal certificate in all over the world, and they are updating every year. So when they put the halal logo there, it's really safe for us to buy. So even also the restaurants is also they easy to buy the chickens, the beef, and etc. who have the logo. But some of the cases in China, I saw it in China, in probably in South China, mostly Muslim, but in the east, southeast, China is really less. So some of them they cannot eat cow meat. They do not have any meat, beef meat. So they eat mostly chicken, or they're becoming vegetarian. My friend's becoming vegetarian, becoming slim. I know that's becoming slim and beautiful for her. But she said that, oh, it's torturous. Every time I go back to Indonesia, I eat satay, satay, and satay, he said. But in there is no chickens and beef in halal products. So directly she's becoming a vegetarian. Yeah. Hopefully I can answer your questions. Yes, Sultan.
Yes, yes. Thank you so
Okay,
much, Miss.
you're welcome. Okay, Nopi.
Uh, Thank you, teacher.
Mhm.
I want to ask question.
Okay.
Why doesn't he? Why does Indonesia have a special standard for halal logistic? Even though in Indonesia there is already an MUI.
Okay.
That's all question. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Nopi. Um, the actually this is a political things. we include the political things, but indeed that why we have, ma'am, we already have halal certificate, but why we're not having halal logistic management guideline standard of it when we already have MUI? MUI is trying to making it this guideline for Indonesia, and I know that their barrier. I mean, is that they are facing a lot of problems, since in Indonesia we are not only living with Muhammadiyah as the biggest Muslim way. We also have Nadatul Ulama. We also have other of the Muslim perspective, and this Muslim perspective become a lot of discussions for them. So the halal logistic management becoming a problem, and the difficulties for them to make it standard. Even though like general standard we already have, yeah, like general standard, like the way that I teach previously, the warehousing have to be clean from that. But some of the product that we cannot make, we cannot claim. For example, the product of gelatin. We are trying to ensure that gelatin, some of the gelatin is made by the alga, or made from the like from plant, and it's not from any meat and etc. But still, we have to be careful, because gelatin sometimes it appear double thought. I mean, sometimes the gelatin is just like, are you sure that this is algae or not, or something like that. So the guideline of the logistic, some of the logistic management is not appear that. But still, for the certificate and etc. for auditing, guideline, the SOP for that, we already have the standard, but the general standard. But if have to be based on the Sharia principles under the Quran and Hadith, we still do not have the perfect one. Yeah, I'm saying this is the perfect one, but for the general, we already have the guideline. But the perfect one based on the Sharia law, we still do not have it, especially for the factories concerning how to apply the wage structures, have to be Sharia. As you can see in the restaurant itself, even if it is have the halal logo, not all of them like restaurant sederhana in Yogyakarta. They give the Sharia principle on the wage structuring. So like all of them are totally doing the Sharia principles, but not all of them are applying this case. So the guideline of logistic management, halal logistic management guideline is not appearing 100% of the principle of Sharia, because we still have some of the arguments, yeah, including the tobacco product. Yes, cigarette for Muhammadiyah it's haram, but for Nadatul Ulama is it can be makruh. So it's also becoming a huge controversial. As you can see, this one is also part of the halal tourism, because product they came inside of the Indonesia, then they do the behavior of smoking. So hopefully, Nopi, I can answer your questions. Let me try to answer Wendy from chat. Good morning, ma'am. Halal business is not just for food or beverage products. However, in the service sector, such as hotel, do Sharia-based hotel business need to implement payment obligation to customer through Sharia banking as well? Thank you. Yes, thank you, Wendy. It's very interesting questions that it should be like those. And this one is also I'm asking to the hotel sectors, yeah, Mas Andre. Can we pay using Bank Mandiri? It's conventional, it's not Sharia. And he said, yes, you can. And I said, wow, so you're not purely Sharia, you're not purely halal product. I mean, your services, you still use the conventional. But he said, don't worry, my merchants is from Bank Syariah. So even though the bank card of the customer is conventional, but he used the merchant of Sharia, and he used the PNE Sharia. Oh, sorry, it's not about the marketing, just like example, yeah. PNE Sharia, that one not Mandiri, but Bank Syariah Indonesia. He used that merchant. So it should be yes for the hotel business, for the services. The merchant need to be from Islamic, from halal finance, like ensuring all of them are Sharia. But ma'am, if the guests are paying using the conventional card, is okay. It's okay, since the money will be transferred into the bank account as the halal finance. The measurement of halal finance is not using the interest rate, right? So the measurement of the Sharia bank will be in the principle of Sharia. So it's okay as long as the payment obligations or merchants have to be for the hotel have to be Sharia account. Yeah. But if you found that the hotel is not Sharia account, it's not halal. I mean, I'm not judging it as not halal, but it's not good. It's better to change to be a merchant, or you can use the one of the halal finance that you can use for the merchant of the payment. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully, I can answer Wendy. Okay, Azura Safa, please, you can open your microphone.
Okay, so ma'am, I would like to ask about halal logistic management also include halal certificate. For the halal certificate, is the halal certificate valid only lifetime, for lifetime, or only a few years? Thank you, ma'am.
Sorry, I think I have problem in my connections. I only get it that halal logistic management is include the halal certificate, and then something problem with my
Okay.
Wi-Fi.
For the halal certificate, is halal certificate valid on lifetime or only a few years?
Oh, a few years. Okay,
I
for
see.
halal sorry?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No. That's it.
Oh, okay. See, halal certificate actually For food, previously, until now, I forgot. I have to ask to the staff member of Jasmine. I forgot, but previously on 2018, still yearly. Every year the auditor will come. And then I still remember that will be they prolong it to be 2 years. Every 2 years, the auditor come and trying to trace all of our supplier, our integrated logistic management, halal integrated halal logistic management. They're trying to see the upstream until the downstreams, and also they are sightseeing around our the bakery stations and also the factory stations, and they also check our office. Is there any a non-Muslim, what is that, instruments, yeah, just like a Jesus or something, put into the office, because the owner of Jasmine Bakery is not only Muslim owner, he's both of have partners with the Indonesian Chinese Christian, if I'm not mistaken, Catholics or Christian, I forgot. And so to ensure those of, and every I in my remembering, in food products, every 2 years, he came, the MUE will came, the delegates from MUE will came and check on it, check on the upstream to downstreams. So actually, halal certificate is probably some of the students will ask, halal certificate is inside of the halal logistic management, or halal logistic management is inside the halal halal certificate? Which one is the huge one? Some of them will think about it. Well, halal certificate is one of the things in the outside to check the halal logistic management, but it's becoming part of the halal logistic management because each of the supplier have the halal certificate, have to be halal certificate. For example, in Jasmine Bakery, they will ask me, they will ask to the staff members, you use meat, right? For the we have a bunch which is actually inside of the buns is the meat, teriyaki meat. Where do you buy the meat? And then I said to Andini. The staff member said Andini. Then he checked, Andini, is there any halal certificate? They check through the phone call of the tracing or checking from the system. Okay, Andini is already halal. Okay, great. Then I see that you use the what is that? X. You use X. Where did you get it? And I said, I'm having from the farmers, Mr. B, and she directly sell to the consumers. Okay, and then he check it. Oh, he has accredited as the certified as halal already. Then all of them are already have to be checked. So halal certifications and halal logistic management is becoming part of. They are tied each other. They're having a strong commitment because halal certifications is trying to see the halal logistic management, but inside of the halal logistic management, each of the supplier, they will also connect it whether it's already certified of the halal or not. So yeah, when we're saying which concept is bigger, ma'am, we do not have any concept which is bigger, but they are connecting each other. They're interrelated. And halal logistic management was utilized for halal certificate, but also halal certificate is also utilize the halal logistic management to publish the halal certificate. So both of these item indicator are connected each others. It's just like Nokia. If you see, if you know Nokia, connecting each other. So yes, halal certificate and also halal logistic management is connecting each other. Yeah. Okay, is anything else? Okay, Muhammad Rasuman, please. You can open your microphone.
Okay, Ibu. By the way, thank you so much for this informative discussion of yours, Ibu. By the way, for the benefit of everyone, I'm Muhammad Rasuman, but you can call me Raj. I'm from the Philippines. So yeah, my question goes like this. Drop shipping turns out of becoming one of the key players or trends, no, especially in the business sector or industry for both small and large enterprises.
Mm,
Most of them can be found in Shopee and so on and so forth. Um, Concerning the stated key disciplines and of course the key concept of halal logistics, is the drop shipping concept or the drop shippers no ideal to adopt by halal business sectors? Because of course we know that in drop shipping concept, no, the drop shippers usually increases the actual price of the product, and also they don't hold the actual product. So basically they're just promoting the product itself. So is it ideal, Bu, to to adopt some drop shipper? Yeah, because nowadays, if I'm not sure, yeah, but maybe sooner or later, halal product will going to encounter. I mean, because of the what is that? Because of the changing world, right? Because of the
mm,
availability of the online world, right? So is it
mhm.
still ideal turning the concept, or yeah, I think that's it, Boo.
Yeah, thank you, Raj. It's very interesting because I always reminds to my students when they are working. They said that I'm also entrepreneurs, Ibu. I'm selling some goods. And then I'm asking to them how you sell your goods. What is it? And he said, I'm selling hijab. And I said, how you sell the goods? Are you making the hijab, like sewing it? And I said, no. I'm having a suppliers from Jawa Barat, West Java, and then I sell it again to others. Then I asked to these students, okay, I would like to, I'm becoming a police actually. But the students was actually is afraid. And did I did something wrong? And I said, no. I'm just asking how you manage it, because in principle Sharia, you are not allowed to sell your goods or product which is not yet you are already owned, right? In Muhammad, I still remember Muhammad already stated clearly that into all of the to all of his best friend, if you want to do the selling, trading, ensure that your product is owned by you. So I said, if your suppliers, if you already buy from the suppliers, just for example, Ross is my supply, if my supplier, and then Nopi is the consumer. Nopi asking me, and I said, okay, Nopi, which one do you like? And Nopi said, oh, I like the purple one, miss. Can I buy it? And I said, okay, give me a second, like 5 minutes, and then I do some transaction to Rush. Rush, can I buy the purple one because I really love it and I want to sell it to my friends? And Rush said, okay, the price is 30,000 rupiah. Then it doesn't have, it can be like, okay, and then I said to Nopi, the price is 35,000 rupiah. You have to pay with me first. But I haven't paid to Rush. So it's on Sharia. It's not Sharia. So in the drop shipper, mostly they have to we need to check the for me if I buy in Tokopedia, in Shopee, I usually asking chat with them and I said, is it your own product or not? If you say that, if they said that yes, we do this is my own product, or we do the sewing, and I said, oh, can I see the factories, where is it, and etc. Oh yeah, they will just see it. They make pictures, and I don't know, it's based on the trust. When I see the factories, it means that okay, they own their own product. But when they said yes, I'm not making it, it came from the supplier of eggs and etc., then I'm reconsidering it to find another way, to find another supplier, because this is the principle of Sharia. We do not until now, for the drop shipper, it's really difficult to check whether it's having a Sharia principle or not. As you can see in the Tokopedia, Shopee, I think they are the producers, the seller is hating me a lot, because before I buy it, I always ask about the factories and etc. to ensure that it is a Sharia principles, including to the students. If they say that, ensure that you have to buy it first and then you sell it to others. Like I have to pay to the Rush and then I send to Nopi. Nopi, this is your hijab, the purple hijab, but I've already if it is like, okay, Rush, the purple hijab, please sending to the Nopi Eka Nur Hidayati in here. It's okay. It's not, it's in Sharia is okay, because I've already paid the what is that, the hijab to Rush. But the problem on dropshipper is becoming challenge. That is why we said that our global standard, halal global standard, is not really there. The Tokopedia, even in China, I forgot the name of the China, Lazada. The product is like already going out and like abroad, but we do not know the principle Sharia that they used. So this is, we have to be careful on doing the online shopping. You need to be very careful. Or if you are feeling trust that this seller is using a Sharia, I mean, he already owned the product and etc., then you can go on. Usually I choose the star 5, and they already sell a lot of products, so I choose this one. It means that he has a product which is what is that, the circulation will be very quick, and the circulation is quick means that whether it is the branch or they already buy the product or they make the product. So sometimes that's my I choose those one. Yeah, hopefully I can answer Russ questions. But interesting, you need to do the SI on it, the drop shipper halal logistic management.
Thank you,
We
Bu.
do not. Yeah, you're welcome, Russ. Okay, I have from Oksa. Hello, ma'am. Permission to ask. Speaking of halal certifications, what do you think? Is there a need for halal certificate for halal tourism, such as halal certificate for food, makeup, and so on? Thank you, ma'am. Okay, Oksa, thank you for your questions. Yes, indeed, in the halal tourism, we have to have the halal certificate, even the halal package tour. In MUI, they have this product, halal package tour, to ensure that the package tour is not is under the Sharia principles, not the, as previously 2 days ago I'm sharing about, we see the or is the name masquerade or something in Phuket, is the LGBTs dancing. So for the halal package tour, there will be no halal certificate to have that. It has to be like that. For the halal certificate for food, yes, especially mostly we had those one. Makeup, yes, we have this product, and MUI also have this audit assessment, the certificate halal for makeup, and also this kind of a halal certificate for package tour, halal package tour. And then halal finance, of course, we have under the BI Syariah, yeah, Bank Indonesia Syariah. And also for airlines, they also have, based on the each of the MUI have already put the halal certificate in Garuda, including the food, including the dress. But still I disagree with that, because the dress, some of them still sexy, so still not in the principle of Sharia, yeah. But polite, yes, still polite. And then we also have the halal certificate for the what else, transportation, there's some of them are easy to get, like Bluebird, they also have already halal certificate. It means that the in there is not allowed to do some of the sexual things in there, just like if it's just like normal as a passenger. Don't do like something else. If someone do bad things, so it means that the responsibility of the driver to reminds the passengers, so it's doing like that one. And also Garuda also have this kind of commitment for the Sharia, for the halal certificate. It means that they are not allowed to have some of the things in sexual, including the food, including if you see that in Garuda, some of them is most of the airlines, they're not sharing the alcohol, yeah. But some of them, like Cathay Pacific, Singapore Airlines, Japan Airlines, I see it's only like take off directly. They said, "Do you want to have wine? Do you want to have champagne?" I was just like, okay, this one is not halal. But for Garuda, they're not sending. They're not delivering. They're not giving or selling any alcohols, or even not selling the any pork, yeah, pork or lard. Air Asia also have the halal, because they're not selling they are trying to not sell the alcohols, but I don't know whether now they already sell or not. But previously, I think during my staying back and forth using Air Asia, I saw that less of them, not of them, they said that they are not selling any alcohol, so they already restricted no alcohol in the airline. I think that's good enough for me, for good things, yeah, for the passengers. Okay, Oksta, hopefully I can answer your questions. Wow, interesting. I love the discussions. Yeah, even though in the holiday, but we still have a very active conversations and discussions. Okay, others.